By the business studies page at the sixth form at Derby Cathedral School. I'm just going to talk to you a little bit about the course you'll study, what you'll learn, how it's assessed, what you need, and where you can go after it. So the course itself is a business studies extended certificate. It's a level 3 course. Now, the reason it's a level 3 course and not an A level is because it has those student projects to complete, which I will come on to shortly. It is the exact same UCAS points, exact same standings as a normal typical A level, but because it's got this project element to it, it's not classed as an A level, it's classed as an extended certificate. The grading system works a little bit differently. You get a pass, merit, distinction, or distinction star. However, it does not rely on a one-off performance at the end of the course in your exams. You are constantly assessed throughout the 2 years on those projects and 2 exams that you sit. The reason that I've chosen this course is because it does bring a lot of aspects of business studies to life, which, if you just look here at the sort of course content, these first 2 units, the business environment is very much the typical theory of business, everything to do with business, much like the GCSE that would have done at whichever school you've done. If you sat at GCSE, it's very, very similar to that. It covers all aspects and a little bit of detail. It does have quite a strong focus on business performance and business analysis. Unit 2 is also an exams unit, a little bit of a shorter exam that covers aspects of working in business. So whatever job you get, that will cover something to do with that job when you leave here. So it talks about protocols we have to follow, documents, designing documents, producing documents, sending documents, communicating with shareholders. So all aspects of working within a business are covered in that unit. And then these 3 practical courses are the projects that you do. So the first one is customers and communication. That does look at, in essence, human resources. So hiring staff, motivating staff, training staff, communicating with staff, how you would go about that, how you can communicate with customers, and then you have to design a number of documents to communicate with customers. That is a core unit. You have to take that one. And then these last 2 are optional ones. You do them both, but the reason I've chosen those is, one, the vast majority of people that carry on business after Key Stage 5 either typically go down the market research or the marketing route or the accountancy route. Now, both of these projects, rather than theory where you look at aspects of marketing or aspects of finance, you actually get to do it for a real business. So you're given a brief and you have to go off and you have to collect market research for that business, and you have to validate your findings and you present your findings. Now, that doesn't mean you stood at the front of the class talking about what you found. It's creating a report to give to me about what your market research showed. Exactly the same with the Unit 11, the accountancy one. For a real business, you are given a set of accounts and you have to produce a number of financial documents and you have to make recommendations, basically analyze how that business stands and what those documents are showing. So that's the 5 units you'll take over the 2-year course. Now, in terms of the projects, they're broken down into much, much smaller aspects. So if you see this page here, this is Unit 11, the accounting one. Each of those separate tasks you see on the screen there make up a task, make up a deadline, but together they all come together to make the final completed project. So how it works, I'll set you one of those tasks at a time. There's a deadline for it. You hand that back to me, we get on with the next task and so on, and we get to the point. And what I do is teach right to the top. So you will always get the opportunity to complete the distinction, these D1 and D2 tasks, which would give you an A equivalent for that particular project. In terms of the 2 exams, when you come into an assessment, very, very similar, again, to whichever course you've taken at GCSE. You are given a case study. These ones are a lot more detailed than a lot of the ones you see I've taught, AQA and OCR, and the case studies when you get to level 3 courses like this one are a lot more detailed. So you can see there is an example of a case study you get, and there is a lot more extended mark questions, the 12 mark questions asking you to analyse this business and look at how they're performing. What's slightly different is with paper 1, the business environment, about a third of that is made up from a research project that you do beforehand. So you are given 5 bullet points and you go and research real life businesses, depending on what bullet points you get, and then you're given 5 questions on the real life business that you've done. So the first part of the exam is multiple choice. The second part is part of this research that you've done on a real life business, but you have to do multiple businesses in order to answer the questions. And then the last part, section C, is this case study. In terms of what you need to get on this course, you need a grade 4 in maths and English. The most important thing you need to have is a genuine interest in all things relating to business, because that will help drive this course. So you need a genuine interest in business, a grade 4 in maths and English. You need good research skills initially. Obviously, we do work on these throughout the time you spend on the course, but to have those, you use the internet, to use textbooks to carry out research for these projects is good. Time management skills are an absolute must. There is loads and loads of deadlines throughout the duration of this course because of the nature of it, because of the projects. So having excellent time management skills is really, really important, as is the ability to work outside of the lesson. I will always set you off teacher-led tasks with me introducing this task, and it's over to you, and I'll set you a deadline. The majority of that work will be carried out outside of the lesson. And as with any course you take at level 3, post 16, you'll need a good work ethic, you'll need drive, and you'll need resilience as well. In terms of progression after this course, the skills that you learn on there: time management, research, application, writing reports, actual experience in finance, marketing, and communication, and an understanding of the business environment. They can take you anywhere within business. As I've already mentioned, a lot of people, I'd say close to 90% that carry on with business would go into either finance or marketing, which is why I've chosen those 2 units to do. But if you look down the right-hand side, some of the jobs that you can access on the back of completing qualifications in business are listed there. There are so many more than that that I could talk about, but they're just some ideas that I've put on there for you. In terms of resources for the course, you will need a textbook, which is this one here. There is revision guides. There's a workbook, which you can see an example here, which you'll get provided. And you'll need a set of folders to keep your work in as well. What happens is you'll often get draft versions of your project, and then I will give you some corrections. So you need to keep a record of all of these. So you will need some folder. Obviously, I'll talk about this close to the time. You need a folder to store all of those in. I'm hoping that has kind of covered in a short space of time everything that you need to know. If there is anything else that you want to ask or want to know about the course at Derby Cathedral School, please feel free to drop me an email. It's t.williamson@derbycathedralschool.org.uk, and I'll be able to answer any questions that you might have. Thanks for taking the time to watch this video.